Hello, welcome to Tony's Bonsai. I've just discovered something really interesting down here in the soil. After that, I'm going to work on and style this hawthorn tree, which I planted earlier in the year. But let's take a closer look at what I've discovered down in the base. What we have here is a little goat willow. I really like the shape of it. It's obviously been pruned by me at some point, and I thought, oh, that's quite nice. That might make something interesting. But what's really fascinating is when I started revealing what's going on down here. I started looking and I was like, what's that? And we've got some wire. And what I've done is, it looks like I've wired the trunk in some kind of crazy, twisted manner that I can't really recall. And I can't really see what's going on, that's the problem. We've got wire down there, but I don't really know where it goes, and I think it's bitten right in. Oh, it has. This is a piece of wire there. So we've got a piece of wire there, which I presume just goes down into, yeah, that's the other end of it. So we've got the wire coming out this side. Now where does it go? What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this up. Right. If I gently tease these roots out, when I say gently tease, I mean pull and snap. And then I can look at the real base of this and hopefully work out what's happening with this wire now. Ah, there we go. So I can see the wires coming up. It's coming around here. Around. Oh, so I think I'm going to be able to free this wire with a bit of luck and a little bit of patience required. Yep. Round it goes there. And out. Off with the wire. And that's how big the piece of wire was. That shows you how big the tree was when I wired it. It was absolutely tiny. But what we've now got is, we've got what is potentially quite an interesting base to a tree. Look how thick it is. Look at these roots here, which can be put into a pot like that. They're all a bit too long. I don't want to take too much off. And this one is quite thick, so I'll take that one back a bit. That'll make a nice root over rock actually. See, we've got a nice root coming out the side of this here. Just there. So take that back to there. Now that works quite well, and nothing too complicated about this one. I've just got some bonsai soil in a pot. Mound it up a little bit. Kind of spread those roots about. Cover them with some bonsai soil. Apart from a bit of pine bark, this is an inorganic mix. I'll leave that in there now. Water that in, and that can just stay as it is for probably the rest of the year now, or at least till the midsummer, and I might take a look at it. I'll just tell you a little bit about this tree. Last winter I was doing some hedge work with my dad round at his garden, removing some hawthorns and different bits, and this came out from the roots. It had almost no roots. It was just an ugly stump. I think I just threw it to the side and just discarded it. It was not a waste of time. And then as I was leaving, I thought, you know what, let's give it a chance. I took it home. I put some roots, some sphagnum moss around the base. I looked after it, and it actually sprouted some buds in the spring, which were all these branches. In a previous video, I did a bit of bud selection, rubbing out some of the buds, and what were left turned into this. I think it's now time to start to formulate a plan about what to do with it, and I'm thinking it's like a natural windswept style. I'm showing you this section because you can see we've got a lovely bud here, a really nice bud on this side, two buds here, one of which I'll rub out, I'm not sure which one yet, and we've got a little bud there that needs to go. I'll cut that off. And we have a couple of buds around the back, similar. In fact, one that's just sort of back here. So we've got lots of potential nice branches for coming out this way, which makes me think that this could be a nice windswept style. So these will be going away from us. These side branches can come out, and the decisions are which of these branches to keep. We've got these two buds here, and I've decided to remove one, and that top one can go. These two, if I'm doing a windswept style, these two could be useful coming this way, but this one is coming right back at me away from the direction of the wind, so I think better to remove that one. From this view, we can see the branches radiating from all around the trunk, which is good, but these are all going to come in this direction if it's going to be a windswept tree. So I need to kind of make these decisions now in terms of which ones to keep. And I'll start off with these two here. I could have either of these, but this one more naturally comes around, whereas this one, it's a bit more vertical and it's a bit thicker. It's going to be harder to work, so that can go. So we've got rid of that one. Right. We need to get rid of one of these. We've got one underneath here. So we've got this one, this one, this one. So this is a natural one to go as well. I like all these. And I could keep one of these. I can't keep both of these. Of these three, I need to get them down to either 2 or 1. And I'm a bit undecided really. I think potentially I could like this top one coming up over the top. So I think this is the one that has to go. So I'm happy with that now. We've got 5 branches and these can all be wired and moved into position. Nice. And then this top can be nibbled down and turned into some kind of dead wood or encouraged to callus over and heal. I'm undecided what we're going to do. We don't need to worry about that quite yet. Now that I've made these decisions on these branches that have been removed, I will just go in with my concave cutters and just take them back. And I'd like to just thank everybody who commented on the video where I seem to have damaged these cutters, these hybrid cutters. And they'd gone out of alignment and everybody said there should be a slight overbite on them. So later that night, I had a bit of a play with them, gave them a bit of a bang and I manipulated them a bit with a hammer. And they're cutting sweet as a nut again now. So thank you everybody. Appreciate all that kind of information. So I'll just just cut those back. They're all nice and flush now, and it's now time to put some wire onto these branches. That's the wire applied. It's fairly uncomplicated at this stage now. It's really just about sort of deciding what I want to do with these branches really, and because I've already done a windswept hawthorn, I've got some experience in putting movement into them, and I want to get the movement into them fairly close to the trunk, because these branches will be being removed probably back to even a couple of inches down the line, so there's no need worrying about the end. It's just about getting some nice interesting shape. I like that one, that flows well. This one can come out wide, down and up, something like that perhaps. Yeah, that works well. I really want this one to have even more of a pulled feel than the other windswept tree that I've got. I want it really to sort of express that movement as the elements sort of shape this tree. So I love doing this kind of work. If you've never done a windswept, I absolutely recommend it, because it's great fun, especially on something like a hawthorn. You know, you really get to add your sort of own design to it, which is great fun. I'll show you from end on in a moment what I'm doing. I just wanted to show you from the side first, and just to sort of give you the feel of kind of what I'm going for. Now these branches are both coming from the same sort of point. Apart from these two, this is the lowest branch, so I may as well try and make this the lowest and put this other one on the other side in between. So this one it's the smallest branch, but it'll come right down there, whereas this one on this side will kind of stay, hopefully go up a bit, and that puts these on different levels. That's the idea in here. You can't really see because they're only so small, but looking at these now, hopefully they're all on different levels apart from these two, which are quite similar. And I think what I'll do then is just drop that, raise that a touch, just to, so they're going sort of do, because I like that idea of them on each on a different level, so you can see them all nicely. I move the camera so that we're now looking down the tree, and from here you can see the movement that I put into them, which I think works quite well. Yeah, it does seems pretty good to me, that. Perhaps that can come out a bit further, like that. The only thing I'm thinking is all of these seem to hook round in the same direction, which isn't ideal. So what I could do to counteract that is to push this one. It almost doesn't matter what I do with these, they're always going to go out and come back. Yeah, maybe there's not too much I can do about that. But this one, again, this one comes out and back, this one comes out and back, so Perhaps if I do that, that's just changing things a bit. And it doesn't matter that they sort of mirror each other in a way. That's okay. And they're both showing the effects of the wind, which is the main thing that I want to show. Like that. Oh, that's a good branch. I like that. And I need to exaggerate the movement a bit because this wire does not, you know, doesn't really hold, they don't hold the position off this wire. They need at least 2 wirings, and possibly 3 or 4 is what I've experienced so far. So I'm pleased with that now. These are sort of moving nicely. Let me look behind the camera, see where we are with it. Yeah, that's beginning to look good. Just perhaps these are slightly, yeah, that's better. Yeah, and we're still all on nice different levels looking from the side. We've got some basic movement. Yeah, happy with that. These wounds where I made the cuts, they're not huge cuts, but I like to put cut paste on them just to seal them in, especially at this time of year. You know, they've still got the majority of the winter to go, these trees. So any extra assistance that they can get is all good. There was only 3, so that's those done. Latex on my finger. There we go. I was doing a bit of watercolour painting yesterday. I paint my mum and my sister a Christmas card, and I've got some rags lying about. So that's that covered. What I will do just before I finish is these branches that are cut off, I'll just dip them in, well, dip the root end in anyway, dip the root end in a bit of hormone powder, and I'll just wedge them in the edge of the pot like this. I don't know if they'll root or not, but I mean, you literally you cannot get easier than this in terms of having a go. You know, and if they root, there'll be nice little potential nice little hawthorns to work on in the future. So can't seem to get this one in. There we go. Right, so yeah, just a little potential Brucey bonus. This goes outside now. It's raining for the next couple of weeks, so it'll get watered in and everything. So I just leave this and see how this does in the spring. And obviously I'll be updating you on the progress of this tree. So yeah, I look forward to sort of sharing this tree's journey with you. As always, thanks for joining me. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.